Cleveland 1013 is presented by Hardee's.
Honda of Cleveland is giving away a brand new 2027 Honda Civic to a deserving coach this year. From Pee Wee League to the college level, all athletic coaches are eligible. Each month, we will choose a coach for that month, and at the end of the year, the 12 finalists will gather to be celebrated and see who wins that brand new 2027 Honda Civic from Honda of Cleveland. Nominate your favorite coach at mymix1041.com.
Take ESPN Cleveland 1013 with you wherever you go. Listen online at ESPNCleveland1013.com. Presented by Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics.
Let's take a moment to breathe. Deep inhale. Extend your spine. Remain focused on what you're doing. If safe to do so, exhale slowly, leaning to one side. Inhale back to center. If safe to do so, exhale slowly to the opposite side. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org. This message is brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
I'm Andy Morris.
I'm Jim Gum.
You're listening to ESPN Cleveland 1013, Home of the Drive, presented by Hardee's, Monday through Friday, 5 to 6 p.m.
From the Kia of Cleveland Studios, this is ESPN Cleveland 1013, WCLE HD2 Cleveland, W267BI Cleveland, ESPN Cleveland 1013.
The top of the hour is presented by Best Buy Metals, making the top of your house the best it can be. Visit bestbuymetalroofing.com.
It's time for The Drive on ESPN Cleveland 101.3, presented by Hardee's. We will bring you nonstop sports news from the national and local scene and everything in between. So buckle up and join in on the conversation. It's The Drive.
Don't take no style. Got a thirst for killing. Live your body.
Welcome into The Drive here on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. I hope everyone out there is having a good Thursday afternoon. Philip Tang is in here with me today. And Philip, looking forward to spending an hour with you talking a little sports.
Yeah, good to be back. I was gone basically the whole month of May, so good to be back here.
Good to see you again, man. Hey, we've got a special guest to start off the show today. We've got the president of the Chattanooga Lookouts, Rich Mazingo. Rich, how you doing, man? Rich, are you there?
I'm here. Where are you guys?
Okay. Hey, man, you have a new ballpark and a first-place ball club. Life is treating you well, Rich.
It's good to be me these days. Really, really good to be me.
Hey, man, you are 2 months into the season. Just curious, there must have been some growing pains and learning experiences at Erlanger Park. What are some things that you've had to make some adjustments or changes since the beginning of the season?
You know, it's literally a lot of the things that we're talking about, a lot of things that we've changed is just operational stuff that you guys probably have never seen. That as a fan, I hope you've never seen. But you know, we're trying to get food out to the front of the fans faster, and we're trying to get lines faster, and we're trying to figure out how to get people out of parking lots faster, and those sorts of things. So we've got a handful of things that we're continuing to work on, but it's really kind of, we're in fine tuning mode right now, which is nice. Just 2 months in.
Yeah, and you guys have been blessed with pretty darn good weather so far this year too. Let me ask you this now, in retrospect, and I hate to do this, but I like to ask these questions. Is there anything that you wish you would have done differently with the design of Erlanger Park? Just curious, after 2 months in, is there one thing you're like, oh, I wish I'd have done this or hadn't done this?
You know, I mean it absolutely sincerely. I cannot think of a thing that I would have liked to have done inside this ballpark any differently right this minute. You know, there's things, Jim, that we've had to go back in and fix and retrofit and that kind of stuff already, which sounds crazy for a ballpark that's been open less than 60 days right now. But, you know, we got some lighting issues, like in our bullpens. Once again, you guys will never see it. We got some lighting in our hitting tunnels that we need to fix. But as far as the design of the ballpark, I literally cannot think of a single thing, if I could go back and do it again, that I'd change right this second.
Philip Tang here. Rich, good to talk with you today. Just you're looking at the standings already. Just a month in, you guys are on top. But the Southern League is super, super competitive this year. All the teams are within 4 or 5 games of one another.
And that's really not uncommon at the AA level. We got off to an unbelievably hot start. I mean, we came out of the gates 8-1. Our first game at home, we were 8-1. Then we won that next series. So we came out unbelievably hot. And then what you see is what we've seen in the past couple of weeks. Guys start moving up, and the balance starts to shift. So if you started instead of 8-1, if you're 4-4, those guys are going to stick around a little longer. But we've got some guys that are playing really good baseball right this minute. We got some guys that we've had here in the past that really look like they've got this thing figured out a little bit this year. And it's fun to watch these guys have success at this level. I've said it for years and years and years now. If you have a really good AA team in the first half, you're probably not going to have a really good AA team in the second half. So hopefully we'll hang on to first place, make a playoff run this year, and then hopefully get some pieces put in place at the end of the year. We can make a run at the championship.
Well, following that up, you mentioned guys going up. Have you had several players make that jump to AAA already?
Yeah, we've had a handful so far, and I think more are on the way. And once again, man, when I start talking about player moves, I know the exact same amount that you know. The Reds don't ever call me up and say, "Hey, Rich, what do you think about this guy? What do you think about that guy?" We got some guys that are playing at a pretty great level right this minute. But once you get to AA, something's got to move. I mean, you can't just send a guy up. I mean, you got to have a place for him to go. So they've either got to make a pretty drastic move at AAA, or something's got to happen at the big league level, and then everything just kind of shoots up in unison after that one.
Well, I know this. Last year when you and I were hanging out together there, you told me, you said, Jim, watch this Sal Stewart guy. He's the real deal. And sure enough, Sal Stewart's now with the big league team, and he's doing really good. Let me ask you this. I'll be honest with you, Rich. I was against repurposing the Foundry. I was like, bulldoze it all down, and start from scratch. In retrospect, I have to admit, I was wrong. I think that the retrofit of the Erlanger Park into the old Foundry has worked. When will we see other businesses starting to spring up around the ballpark?
In the next 60 days at most, we're going to start construction. We, being the developer of the site, he's going to start construction on 300 units of apartments right over the left field foul pole.
Okay.
And then I think in about the next 120 days, he's going to start about a 75,000 square foot office space kind of right over center field. So it is going to be unbelievably quick. We already have Creature Comforts on site right now. It's a brewery out of Athens, Georgia, and they're actually doing business on the site right this minute. So, but those other things are coming. And I was talking to the developer, Jim Irwin from New City Properties the other day. They've got folks lined up. So I don't, the problem these days is nothing moves quickly. And when I say quickly, I'm talking about the next, 3 months, 6 months, something like that. It's you got to go get funding out for these things, and then you got to get the right contractors in place and those sorts of things. But I think I know you're going to start seeing, you're going to start seeing some construction out here really soon, and I think you'll see businesses really not that much after that.
Well, you say nothing goes quickly, but 60 days from now, it's pretty quick. It's right around the corner. You think, 60 days is not that far, but it's moving for a lot of construction stuff.
Right.
Oh, it's crazy. It's great, and the New City Properties people have done all the hard parts of these things. When you start to do a construction project, or you start doing new construction wherever you are, the fact is there's an unbelievable amount of work that went in before they ever put a shovel in the ground to get financing straight, to get drawings done, to get architectural drawings stamped, and to get permits and all that kind of stuff. Is a wildly difficult process. So when I say they're going to start in 60 days, that means they've probably been at it for 2 full years, or at least over a year, getting everything in place so they could put a shovel in ground. So it is moving, and hopefully we'll see the fruits of it pretty quickly.
We're talking to Rich Mazingo from the Chattanooga Lookhouse. Now, let me ask you this. The existing Foundry skeleton that's still there, when they start repurposing that, will that affect anything with Erlanger Park?
Oh, I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will. Number one, it's going to bring more people to the site. And that's what this thing's all about. You know, we've talked about it from the very beginning before we even put a shovel in the ground here. The whole idea of Erlanger Park, the whole idea was to give the Lookouts a new home, but way more importantly was to spur development on the south side of Chattanooga. So I think it will, Jim. And will it affect it via parking? Will it affect it via just traffic? Will it affect it people's perception? I think all those things are on the board, and I think all those things could change. But hopefully all of them will change for the better as we get, like I said, more and more density on the site, more and more people coming here on a regular basis.
Have you had any other developers or maybe people associated with other organizations take a look around Erlanger Park to try to get ideas for maybe what they want to do in the future?
Absolutely. And it continues on and on. I mean, we've had a bunch of people in here already. We've had some really just tremendous articles written about the ballpark, and there's a lot of talk out there about what we're doing and what direction we're going, and I don't think that's going to slow down anytime soon.
Yeah, I've seen some national publications talk about Erlanger Park with glowing reviews and everything. So, all right, let's talk about what's going on at the ballpark coming up. The Trash Pandas are the next opponent coming into Chattanooga. Wednesday, you have 90s night. Thursday, you have what they call World Softball Night. Tell us about some of the promotions going on there at Erlanger Park coming up next week.
You know, we've got 70 games a year, 69 games a year, so we try to make each game a special game. And our promotion staff here is just absolutely fantastic. So 90s night for us, you're gonna hear 90s music out here. We're gonna give away a replica 90s jersey.
I love those, by the way.
Lookouts jersey, they're fantastic. So that'll just be a fantastic night at the ballpark. And then World Softball Night, Sydney Hooper, your girl from up there, from Cleveland, has put this together about 4 or 5 years ago, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger every year. We've got over 40 local and regional softball teams coming in to kind of celebrate softball that night. We've got softball players from the University of Alabama coming in, from UTC, from Lee, from Covenant, all coming in. They're all going to sign autographs, and it's a great opportunity for us to shine the spotlight on softball, and especially what's happening in our region.
And then, of course, on Friday, you got fireworks every Friday night. You got what they call Conservation Night, and then you have on Saturday it's In My Lookouts Era Night, and then Sunday Little Lookout Sunday.
Well, let me start with Conservation Night because I'm super excited about this one. We have teamed up with the Tennessee Aquarium to really talk about what's at the heart of what they're doing, what their mission is, and it's conservation, it's river protection, and all that kind of stuff. We're going to wear unbelievably cool jerseys that night. We've got fantastic merchandise. Oh, they're so cool. We've got great merchandise in our gift shop that night that ties the Tennessee Aquarium and the Chattanooga Lookouts together. We're going to have vendors all throughout the concourse telling you how you can help conserve, how you can help make our region better. So I'm really excited about that one. Jim, the next one was a head scratcher to me. In my Lookouts here, and I literally had to go to my promo staff and say, "What are we talking about here?" It is a themed evening. It is a themed evening based on an artist named Taylor Swift.
Never heard of her.
You might have crossed her name somewhere along the lines, but we've got a DJ that does a lot of her music. We've got some just other things in and around the ballpark. We got a pregame concert in center field. But everything that night will be themed towards a lady by the name of Taylor Swift. So if you were interested, and I'm telling you right now, the city is interested in it. It is a crazy sales number already for us. A ton of people are coming out to that one, and we're looking forward to a great night there. And Sunday's one of my favorite days of the week. Number one, day baseball. I love it like crazy. But it's day baseball, and then kids run the bases, and then catch on the field after the game ends. So just a really solid 6 days coming up starting next Tuesday.
You mentioned your promo team and with all these great different promotional things. How much do you sit in those meetings and listen to the early stages of what they might be coming up with?
Oh, I've learned not to sit in the early stages. They come to me when they have really, really, really big ideas and really expensive ideas.
Okay.
Like, Rich, can we do this? I have. They have their hand on the pulse. They know what's going on in our community. They know what's going on in the nation. They know what. I mean, they're scouring the internet to look at what other teams are doing, what other teams are having success for. And then they're just looking for really cool local ideas that we can do things out here, and that's really where Conservation Night came from. But I promise you, we're not the first ones who have done the In My Lookouts era night, or In My Rubber Ducks era, or In My Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp era. I promise. So we're trying to find good events that we can continue to bring to our fans here.
How happy have you been as far as the attendance thus far?
Just over the moon, just absolutely over the moon. It was, we knew we were going to go up. We knew it was going to be good. And we came out of the gate kind of the way we thought we were going to, Jim. We thought we were going to have a good first homestand, but then the second homestand was fantastic, and the third homestand was fantastic. Fourth homestand was fantastic. And I've told a bunch of folks, this upcoming homestand, we've sold more tickets a week out for this homestand than we have every homestand except the very first one. So even as we get deeper into this thing, more and more people are coming out. And I got to tell you, every single night I'm out here, I see someone who I've seen 2 or 3 or 4 times. So it's not like people are just coming out, looking at the stadium, saying, "All right, I've seen it." I know they're having a great time, and they continue to come back night after night after night after night, and that's been really, really satisfying for all of us here.
Well, Rich, listen, nothing's 100% in this world, but I've yet to come across anybody that has not had a good experience there. I mean, maybe there's been somebody, but I don't know who that is.
It's interesting that you say that, because we talked a little bit about some of the reviews we've gotten of the ballpark, and you typically get these reviews and it says, "Man, what a great this, that, or the other," but. Or you'll hear people say, "Hey, I had a great time at the ballpark, but," and I'm like you, man. I don't hear the "but" very often. I mean, I've heard, the vast majority of people have come out and just had a blast at the ballpark, and the food's fantastic, and the baseball's great right now, and the prices are just phenomenal out here. I mean, one of the things that was really, really important to us, and we put our money where our mouth is it's got to be a family, affordable, fun entertainment. And you get a ticket, the tax tags, title, everything. You get a ticket into the ballpark any night you want to come out for $9, which I think is, I'll put it against any other event or venue in the region.
Oh, there's no question about that. Rich, man, thanks so much for taking the time with us today. And of course, we'll continue to promote Chattanooga Lookouts here on the Drive. And of course, we come out there. We go to games out there as well. So, so happy for you and so happy for the Chattanooga Lookouts.
Guys, I appreciate your time and I appreciate your interest very much. And holler at me when you get down here. I'd love to shake hands again.
All right, we'll do it, man.
All right, guys, y'all be good.
All right, take care.
Rich Mazingo from the Chattanooga Lookouts, and we both have been there. And you're a guy that you do a lot of Lee University baseball, so you see venues, you see multiple venues, and obviously a minor league, professional, AA venue is going to be superior to most colleges. No, there are some SEC venues that compare very favorably, but your overall thoughts and your experience having been there.
I don't think there's a bad seat to see the game at Erlanger Park. I loved when I went for the first time to watch. I loved where you could basically sit down the foul line and there's nothing in front of you but the net. Yeah, and you can see you can see the ball bouncing all the way in the dirt right to you. I just love that you can.
Yeah, there's no wall.
There's no wall. It's different, and I really really like it. But there's not a bad seat in there because I walked around the concourse and you're right up on the action. That's what's great about minor league baseball. You can buy a ticket to get close, and it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg.
That's true.
To do that.
And there's not a lot of places where you can't view the ball game even when you're on a concourse. There's a couple places where there's some walls and whatnot.
Right.
But I'd say 85% of the time when you're walking on that concourse, you can physically see the action on the field, which is a tremendous.
And most of the times you can't see it because you're buying food. Like that's the walls are where the food is, and you can't see anyway.
And I'll say this: my only complaint is that some of the lines to getting food are quite long, and you know why? Because it's so good.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people there. Look, attendance could be probably triple, if not greater than that, by the end of the season, as opposed to what they had last year. So when you get triple the number of people, and we're all and so it's so funny because I'll see some short lines for stuff. I'm like, but I don't want that. I want this.
Right.
So does everyone else. You know. So obviously you got to wait in line. Like I got me a brat. Okay. I mean, when I go to a ball game, I want a hot dog or a brat. I had to wait a little bit of time, but I was able to look over my shoulder and watch the ball game, you know, and shoot the breeze with some other guys that were
watching
there
the game
with
as
us.
well, right?
But it was great. But that's the only thing. But that's an inconvenience, not a complaint, because everyone wants to get their food now. Impossible when you go to a ball game when you got thousands of people and you got maybe 60 people wanting the same thing,
right?
know?
And then something Rich mentioned, like just kind of tweaking small things here and there, and I'm sure you'll see an improvement over that in the next couple of weeks, if not months.
Yeah. So like I said, we're excited about. Listen, had they not built this ballpark, Chattanooga would not have a ball team right now. They would have lost. They would have lost. Well, Rich even said that. He goes, Major League Baseball put the squeeze on us. Either we build a ballpark or this franchise is relocating elsewhere. Listen, there's a lot of cities out there that
would love to have
5 or 6 years ago had a ball team, and now they don't.
Yeah.
And so, if they had it to do over again, they'd probably like, yeah, we probably should have built that ballpark.
Yeah.
We were warned. They didn't do it. Chattanooga was warned. They did. They stepped it up. And now, listen, this ballpark's going to be there for 50 years.
Oh, yes.
AT&T was not built to last that long. This ballpark is concrete and steel, man. It's there for the duration.
And it's going to look great in 20 years, even like...
Once they get that development done
Right.
all around it and everything, for sure. That's the one, it is a little bit of an eyesore still. Not as bad as it once was. It's still
better.
But it's better. And 3-4 years from now, you'll look at it. To me, it's the front door of Chattanooga coming in from 24, and you'll come around that bend and you'll see that area with a ballpark right in the middle of it, and people are going to go, this is a happening place right here.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Like you said, there's a little bit of eyesore still, but as soon as that's all developed, it's going to be everybody's going to want to own a business there or go shopping there or watch a ball game there.
Yeah, listen, I'm sure at some point there will be other things that go on. In fact, probably have been other things that go on in some of the features there they have at Erlanger Park. I know that big pattern room is huge.
It is.
I don't know. I should have asked Rich, have they already had any weekday or weeknight stuff there when the Lookouts have been out of town? Have they been able to utilize that? I know they're supposed to be, maybe have like weddings there and some receptions there and some Christmas parties there and all sorts of stuff. So it's good. It's such a cool place.
Yeah, we were in the pattern room because the Division II National Championship in softball was in Chattanooga at Frost Stadium last week, and so before the tournament started, they took all 8 softball teams that came and they rented out the pattern room and walked out, watched the game, go back in, get some food, and walk back out.
You had 8 softball teams in one venue. How was it? Was it crowded, or were there?
No, it wasn't too bad.
Wasn't that bad?
There's a lot of people there, but it wasn't. You did not feel like you were squished.
That place is massive.
It is. You did not feel like you were squished.
That's
at
amazing. That is really cool. That is real cool. All right, let's go ahead and take our first break. Hey, when we come back, we are going to talk a little bit about what happened last night in San Antonio as the Knicks and the Spurs are going at it in the NBA Finals. You're listening to The Drive here on ESPN Cleveland 101.3.
The Drive will be back after a quick timeout. Stay tuned for more nonstop sports talk on The Drive, presented by Hardee's.
Good morning. This is your Hardee's 2 for $5 $5 breakfast mix and match alarm. We've got fluffy eggs and sausage on a made-from-scratch biscuit ready. Or perhaps biscuit and gravy. Ooh, maybe a sweet cinnamon roll. Wake up and smell that sweet deal. Mix and match any two for just $5 for a limited time. Only at Hardee's. Don't snooze on the app. Snag juicy deals, order ahead, and get to work on time. Maybe. Exclusive app offers for registered My Rewards members only. Available for limited time at participating restaurants.
Joint pain can put a real damper on living life without limitations. Whether you're suffering from arthritis, sports injuries, or chronic joint pain, Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics offers the complete range of surgical and non-surgical solutions tailored to your unique needs. Call us today at 423-624-2696 or visit sportmed.com to take the first step toward a happier, healthier you. Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. The Center for Start to Finish Care.
Cleveland, the all-new Select Flooring and Remodeling is now open at 5555 North Lee Highway. We carry the top flooring brands you know and trust: Mohawk, Shaw, Engineer Floors, and United Weavers. We also specialize in home remodeling and roofing, delivering quality you can count on. Take advantage of 24 months interest-free credit. Come see us Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and Saturday, 9 to 2. Call us today at 423-889-3007. That's Select Flooring and Remodeling, 5555 North Lee Highway, Cleveland. From the floors to the roof, we've got you covered.
When you need a new roof, it's all about trust. Your home is too big an investment and you can't afford to make a mistake. Cleveland Plywood has the products and expertise you're looking for. Contractors have trusted them for over 50 years, and they carry only proven products from reputable suppliers like IKO. IKO Cambridge is one of the heaviest weight asphalt shingles you can buy, and their limited warranties are among the industry's best. Protect the investment you've made in your home. Go with the pros at Cleveland Plywood, 2700 20th Street Northeast in Cleveland. Call 472-3357. Cleveland Ford has been serving the Cleveland community since 2003. Since opening, they have had one goal in mind: serving the community through sales and service. Cleveland Ford is the home of the F-Series, the best-selling trucks in America for over 40 years. Whether it's a practical family car, tough truck, or SUV, find it at the right price at Cleveland Ford. Call them at 423-472-5454 or visit them in person on South Lee Highway at the Bypass or online at clevelandford.com.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to The Drive, presented by Hardee's. Join the conversation. Text 423-749-1013. You can also listen anywhere on our website, ESPNCleveland1013.com.
The Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics Urgent Care in Cleveland is open Monday through Saturday for walk-in care. If you prefer to plan ahead, online scheduling is also available at sportmed.com. And, of course, we got, and I'm going to say this, Philly Tang in here. I was told to call you Philly Tang. That was
I'm fine with that.
That was a direct order by
Andy. Sure, yes.
But it's been a while since you've been in here.
Yeah, it's the whole month of May.
So Todd, kind of tell us what all you have been doing. I know you've been a busy guy the last month.
Yeah, so May is postseason for NCAA sporting events. So luckily we were competitive on quite a few fronts.
Yes, you were.
I was, let's see, I started in Oxford, Alabama, the baseball conference championship. Ended up in, I guess, technically third place in that conference championship. And then I went to Valdosta, Georgia for men's golf, the regional. Came back and then went to Pensacola for the NCAA baseball regional. They're like Division II, it's just like Division I. You got regionals and then super regionals. We were in the championship game of the regional and unfortunately lost to West Florida in that one. So then came back for a day and a half and then flew out to Vegas for men's golf national championships. And the Flames end up coming in third place in the national championships this year. So in the semifinal match, the Flames, our golf team, shot 16 under as a team.
Wow.
The other team shot 24 under as a team in that round.
Yeah.
You can't, like, our coaching staff was like, we can't be upset because our worst guy shot even par. We had a guy shoot 68 and lose his matchup. So
Wow.
you can't argue. That team we lost to ended up winning the national championship.
And the golf course out there in Las Vegas, just curious. I mean, around here, everything's green. We have big trees and stuff like that. Out there, you're basically in the desert. What was the course like out there? I'm sure the fairways and everything were great, but as far as like out of bounds and stuff like that, was it?
It was dry and dusty. So
Dry and dusty. That's what I thought.
The greens and the fairways and everything else was great. Like great condition. Perfect, like you would want it, but as soon as you got out of bounds, it's dust and
different world there.
I saw a Roadrunner at one point.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
There wasn't a coyote around.
No, I didn't see any of those. I saw some jackrabbits. I mean, it was in the distance, like half a mile away. There's some small mountains in the distance. It's dry as all get out.
It
was hot. It was hot. It was in the upper 90s. Now it was a dry heat, so it wasn't the humidity, but it was 94 for the final day.
That's wild, man. So did you get to, enjoy the I know how you are. You're not a nightlight guy, but the excitement of Las Vegas.
So the tournament was outside of Vegas in Boulder City, but one morning,
Boulder City is basically, that's where, that's where Hoover Dam was supposed to be built.
Right.
They moved it because.
It's like 10 miles away,
But even then, it was still called Boulder Dam for the longest time until they put Hoover's name on it. Yeah.
Yeah. So we went one morning to walk in basically downtown Vegas on the Strip, and that's all we had time for, because it's when you're watching golf and you're covering golf, you're out there all day, and you're tired afterwards. Because you're walking and taking photos and stuff, so you're walking that. And then I didn't go on this one, but our track and field team had 2 individual national champs this year. Stephen Clark won the 3,000 meter steeplechase, and Aria Hawkins won the 1,500 meter race. So 2 national championships in one meet's pretty good for the Flames.
The Flames, to describe and I'm not going to say that. Not all sports are championship level, but just about every sport at Lee is successful.
Yeah,
just about. There may be something that I'm missing, but it seems like every time I look, I'm like, well, that sport's doing well. That sport's doing well. Lee's a pretty successful athletic program.
Yeah, we're very blessed to have great coaches too, and some of the teams that maybe didn't make NC this year were on the cusp. And women's basketball didn't. They were really close to making it, and men's basketball was really close to making it. So we're blessed to have some great coaches and some great support, especially from Dr. Cook and all the cabinet at Lee. They're all very supportive of Lee athletics.
The facilities are up to par. Some are better than others.
Yes.
But Lee does not. We're blessed here in Cleveland, Tennessee, to have a university that supports athletics. They've moved up to the NCAA Division II level. And, it wasn't that long ago that they weren't an NCAA school. How long? When was that?
2015 was when they made the official.
So it's been
jump
12 years now?
11 years, and we're about to be our 12th year, coming up.
Isn't that crazy? I remember when that happened.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, I remember when it was Lee College, too.
Right.
So that goes to show you how old I am. Okay, last night, you were kind of going back and forth between the Texas Longhorns and Texas Tech Red Raiders and the Knicks and San Antonio. I was pretty much locked in on the Knicks and San Antonio game, especially in the third quarter when the Knicks made that tremendous comeback. They were down 14 points. I'll be honest with you, I thought this game was getting out of hand. I'm like, ooh, this could get ugly. I think San Antonio's going to run them off the floor. And the Knicks made that run, and they made the run when Wemby was sitting out.
Right.
I personally think it was a coaching blunder, but to leave him off the floor as long as they did, the Knicks made a great run to get back in the game. When they got Wemby back in, it was pretty much a toss-up at that point. That's neither here nor there. But I don't know if you saw this. Did you see the fans run out on the floor?
Yeah, I saw that. He tried to take a selfie with Wembanyama. Yeah, it's hilarious.
There was the one guy that got on the floor. There was someone else that was his cohort. They've been given a lifetime ban. A lifetime ban. It wasn't worth it, guys.
No, definitely not.
It wasn't worth it to get a selfie like that. What possesses someone to do stuff like that?
A dare. I don't know, dare, or just they think they can get away with it because they're quick. I I don't know.
I mean, listen, I'll give my props. I thought the security was on him like that. They did a good job of getting him. And listen, it could have been a dangerous situation. Do you remember when Monica Seles was stabbed at? I think it was the French Open. But maybe
I don't
20
remember.
years
I don't remember
ago.
personally, but I remember I've read about it.
Yes. I mean, obviously, security was not like it is nowadays. I doubt you could probably do that with all the security. You got all these venues because there's a lot of crazy people out in this world, and they want to make a name for themselves. But yeah, she was on the sideline, in between sets, and then some deranged fan comes running onto the court and stabbed her in the back. I mean, it's just crazy. But yeah, you can't risk having your athletes injured by some lunatic running out of the stands.
Security is tight as it is, but sometimes people just sneak on through. I think you see it more.
Usually it's a dare.
Right, usually dare. A lot of times you see it more at football games because that stadium's even bigger. There's so many more entry points, and you can get on the field and sneak around for a minute more before running out there.
Look at the sidelines at a football game, especially a big-time football game. There are people lined around that field. I mean, there are so many of them, and I know you're supposed to have credentials to get out there, but you got cheerleaders, you got staff, for the football team. You got probably 200 people for each school out there. 100 of them are football players. The other 100 are staff people doing whatever they're there for. So you can kind of slip in and kind of get yourself lost, and then you could run out on the field. Now, I'll never forget this, and I think you can probably look this up. In Baltimore, I think it was like 1971 or 72, some drunk ran on the field at old Baltimore Memorial Stadium, and they used to have a linebacker there. His number was number 32, odd number for a linebacker. His name was Mike Curtis. He was a no-nonsense guy. He laid this guy out, and he said, hey, this guy was in my workplace, interfering with my work environment, and I had to take it into my own hands because apparently security wasn't doing their job. He goes, so I did the job of the security people. I mean, this blasted this guy. But no, you don't see that happen. And it used to be, and the reason you used to see fans do this stuff is because the cameras would be on them. Nowadays, they go away from them. They don't show them because they don't want to give them the props and the notoriety of running on the field. So no attention, no notoriety. What's the point? Now the people with their smartphones, they're all taking videos.
Right. I like seeing those where the guy running on the field being crazy gets blown up by either an officer or some other football player coming out and taking care of it.
Now, one of the greatest of all time, and I bet you've seen this video, or if nothing else, a photo. I think it was 1976, Dodger Stadium. Some guys ran onto the Dodger Stadium, like in center field. They were going to light an American flag on fire.
Yeah, I've seen the video, yeah.
Rick Monday, who was playing with the Cubs at the time, runs over there, snatches the flag out, and takes off with it. And, the thwarts their,
their protest.
Their protest, whatever they're out there for. And he became a hero to so many people for doing that. In fact, I believe that Rick Monday still owns that particular flag. I think he kept that flag. Cool. I mean, that was cool. But you don't see it that often. But every now and then you'll see a fan run out on the field, and you're like, "What in the world?" And like you said, more often than not, there's some what I call liquid courage involved, and some dares. I'll give you $30, man, if you run out there, And as they do it, they get trouble, then they get arrested, and then now they're fined. Now these two guys for the in that Knicks and San Antonio game, lifetime ban. To me, you're making a point. If you're anyone out there thinking about it, unless this is your one and only NBA game you're ever going to go to in your entire life, then I would advise against it.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed that 20 seconds of fame there. Because he's never going to go back into the Spurs arena.
No, and that's some crazy stuff there. All right. Earlier this week, a gigantic trade in the NFL took place. Myles Garrett traded, and of course, Andy's a big Browns fan, and he was not a happy camper at all. And Jared Verse is a good player. Don't get me wrong; they got a really good player in return, and they got some draft picks, but Myles Garrett is the best of the best as far as players in the National Football League on the defensive side. And they actually reworked his deal today in Los Angeles, where his contract, which was previously a paltry $31.5 million, his compensation in 2026 will be at least $37 million. So he got a nice little raise to go in Los Angeles. Listen, the cost of living is a little more hefty out there, so he's got to have to compensate for the cost of living. But the Rams are one of these franchises. They don't mess around. If you look over the last 6-7 years, I think since 2000, the Rams have only had 2 first-round draft picks. All the other times they have traded them away, and they trade them to try to get guys because their thing is win now.
Right.
Los Angeles is not one of those cities to where you can rebuild. They don't support rebuilds. They support, we want you to win and we want you to win now. That's the way it is in that city because there's a lot of options in Los Angeles. You can do a lot more things than go to a Rams game or a Chargers game or Dodgers game or an Angels game or Lakers game. You better put a winning product on the field and in the building, or the fans there will find something else to do.
This may be the more high-profile trade that the Rams have done to get a player into win now in the last couple of years. But you imagine they're trying to do that with Matthew Stafford. You know, his career is coming to an end.
37 years old.
And I mean, they were one game away from the Super Bowl against Seattle.
I mean, you think about this. I'm 100% convinced that the Super Bowl was really the NFC Championship game.
Oh, correct. I agree with you on
the
that.
Seahawks and Rams were clearly better than the Broncos or the Patriots.
I agree, yes.
Even if the Broncos had Bo Nix didn't get hurt, he was available, I still don't think that they are as deep, I'm talking about the Broncos, as the Seahawks or Rams. So the Rams are they're in a division with the reigning Super Bowl champs, and so they're all in 2026. And, you know, if you're a Rams fan, anything short of the Super Bowl, I would almost consider it to be a failure as a season. Isn't that crazy?
It definitely is, but Myles Garrett, 30 years old now, and
he's right there, and right now he's at his peak.
Yes.
Will he get better? Probably not get better. He may be able to match what he did last year, but once you hit that 32, 33, then your production will probably start to drop off, and by then Stafford might be retired or might be on the way to retiring. So you think about this, they've got about a 1 or 2 year gap here to make it happen. They won a Super Bowl in 2021 in a great Super Bowl against the Bengals. They won that one, and they feel like that they've underachieved since then. They feel like they should have been to a couple more Super Bowls since then. They haven't, but they're all in 2026. And listen, that you got certain franchises that it's all about now, and it is what it is. It's in baseball. You never see the Yankees rebuild.
Right.
You never see the Dodgers rebuild. They're in the win now mode always, and I would say, and I would say the Cowboys are usually trying to, they just have not been successful. But the Dallas Cowboys are never in that rebuild mode. They're in the, we got to win now. We got to win right now. We'll do whatever it takes to win now. And unfortunately for Dallas Cowboys fans, it hasn't happened. They haven't won, since the early 90s. They haven't been to a Super Bowl since the early 90s. But there's always some of those franchises that they're in the win now mode.
And if you're a fan of those teams, you should be grateful that you never have to worry about, awful season. Now, the Rams weren't for the longest time because when they were in St. Louis, they were, until Kurt Warner came, they were not good at all.
No, they were.
But
they
the last,
were terrible.
This century, they've been way better. But sometimes you have to wonder, some of these teams are always rebuilding. It's are you ever going to turn that corner?
Think about Andy's. He's a Browns fan. I mean, they're constantly in that rebuild mode. Constantly. They can't ever find that quarterback. And listen, they've gone through so many quarterbacks. It's unbelievable. And I still, to this day, I don't think that they have a star on their roster. I think they've got a couple decent guys. I think Watson, I personally, I think that Derek Watson's,
Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson. I think he's the best quarterback they have, but I don't think he's what he once was when he was with the Texans. And I'm not sold on Shedeur Sanders. So once again, you got the Browns in this rebuild, and we don't have our quarterback just yet guy. And you've got, other, like, do the Titans have their guy? I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I mean, I don't know. It's one of those things where I'm not sold on the Titans just yet.
Right. Well, how many of the teams in the NFL are always in that we're here, we're not rebuilding? There's not many.
There's not many. It's hard to do in a salary cap league like the NFL is. It's hard, but you have a few that seem like they're always in that aggressive mode. And I think the Rams are always in that. They're very aggressive. They're like, what can we do to get Myles Garrett? I heard Rich Eisen, who's on ESPN radio from noon until 3. He had the GM of the Rams on one today, it was yesterday, talking about they actually inquired about acquiring Garrett in 2022. 2022, and here it is 4 years later, and they finally get him. But that's how aggressive they are. They inquired about him. Now, they got a flat out no. They got a flat no from the Cleveland Browns, but they kept on and kept on and kept on and kept on, and finally they were able to convince the Browns that, hey, this guy doesn't want to be there. We'll give it. And Jared, Verse is a really good player. Yeah. A really good player, and I think he may be a superstar. He's made the Pro Bowl the first 2 years in the NFL. So they got a really good player in return, and they got a lot of draft picks. But my thing is, until you get that quarterback, you're always going to be in that, rebuild mode.
Right.
And like you said, Cam with the quarterback of the Titans, I'm not 100% sold on him. He's shown flashes, but it's inconsistent. We'll see what he does in 2026.
Yeah, new coach for Cam Ward, a couple new receivers, so we'll see. You definitely see if he makes a step forward or not.
And like I said, I think Cam's a pretty good quarterback, and he's had his moments and stuff like that. But it's frustrating. People around here generally are either Falcons fans or Titans fans. Let's be honest. About probably 80% of the people that live around here have their allegiance towards one or the other. And it's a frustrating time right now because you got the Falcons are floundering. Do they have their guy? Is Penix the guy? I don't know if he is or not. Cam Ward, is Cam the guy? I don't know. And like I said, in the National Football League, you must have a difference maker at the quarterback position to compete for. So you can make the playoffs with a mediocre quarterback, but you can't win the Super Bowl with a mediocre quarterback. There have been some examples where you had a mediocre quarterback and won it in years past, but I don't think in this day and age, I don't think you can get a Brad Johnson to win a Super Bowl with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Or like a Trent Dilfer with the Ravens.
Or Trent Dilfer. Those days are gone. I think you've got to have a difference maker at the quarterback position.
Well, the NFL's built around the offense right now, and
well, all the rules are designed for the offense.
Back in the day, the defenses could basically hit everybody as hard as you want with no penalty. Now you got to be a little more careful, and so it's designed for the offense. If you don't have, like you said, if you don't have a good quarterback, even like above average quarterback, you're not going to probably win the Super Bowl.
No.
And like the Seahawks, Sam Darnold may be just above average. He's not elite, but he's good enough to win you a Super Bowl.
He was a first-round draft pick.
Yes.
And listen, he was with some franchises that just didn't have enough pieces around him. I always thought Sam Darnold looked like the real deal when he was in college.
Mm-hmm.
But, man, a lot of it has to do location.
Yes.
You can be put in a really bad situation and flounder, and then find yourself in a situation where, oh my goodness, he goes to he had that really good season in Indy, then he goes to Seattle, and he looked the part.
He did.
He looks like the real deal to me. What we saw prior to then, I think he was just in an unenviable situation on some bad football teams.
Yeah, just bad management from the team.
Bad management.
Probably some coaches that didn't fit his style. So a lot of times it's with quarterbacks, it's like if you got the right, a coach could be great with one quarterback, but then the next quarterback comes in and he's not as good because they don't gel.
Well, and the Jets are another franchise. They're notorious for They're very similar to the Browns. They just can't seem to get it right. And I know there's a lot of passion for football in New York City. The Giants look like they're on a better trajectory than the Jets are. But, I mean, I think the Jets had a really good draft this year. But, man, you got to have that quarterback. Now, Joe Namath is not on that franchise.
No.
He's not on that roster.
And he hasn't been for a long time.
No. And I don't know if Jackson Dart's the guy in New York. We'll see. I think he is. He looked pretty good last year. But I think the Giants are ahead of the Jets as far as that goes. But there again, the Jets and the Browns, they seem to be in that rebuild mode constantly.
Well, and also there are also some teams are like, you don't give your coach time to make adjustments, and I'm talking about because they change coaches like we change our T-shirts. Right. Just sometimes you have to like take a couple of lumps for 2 or 3 years, and if you've got the right quarterback, and just build off of that instead of having to reset and reset and reset.
Think about, and I know we got to take a break here in a minute. Think about how hard it is in New York City or Los Angeles. You got 2 franchises.
Right.
You got 2 NFL teams. You got 2 Major League teams. So the Mets are comparing themselves to the Yankees.
Right.
The Chargers are comparing themselves to the Rams. The Jets and Giants are comparing themselves to each other. The Angels are being compared to the Dodgers. It's hard.
It is.
The Clippers are always playing second fiddle to the Lakers. I mean, you got certain cities to where when you got 2 of each, it's got to be even more difficult to appease your fans, because can you imagine being a Lakers fan and then your friend over here is a Clippers fan? I mean, you talk about having bragging rights
for a long time.
Forever,
yes.
It's got to be hard, and they're always being compared because you're right there. You're sharing the same city. You may not be in the same venue, but you're sharing the same city, the same critical stuff coming out in the newspapers and online and everything.
Yeah, just the Clippers could win 10 straight NBA championships and still not get close to what the Lakers have done.
Not even close. Hey, let's go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about who is on the College Football Hall of Fame ballot, and we're talking about a specific head coach. You're listening to The Drive here on ESPN Cleveland 101.3.
The Drive will be back after a quick timeout. Stay tuned for more nonstop sports talk on The Drive, presented by Hardee's.
Good morning. This is your Hardee's 2 for $5 breakfast mix and match alarm. We've got fluffy eggs and sausage on a made-from-scratch biscuit ready, or perhaps biscuit and gravy. Ooh, maybe a sweet cinnamon roll. Wake up and smell that sweet deal. Mix and match any 2 for just $5 for a limited time, only at Hardee's. Don't snooze on the app. Snag juicy deals, order ahead, and get to work on time. Maybe. Exclusive app offers for registered My Rewards members only. Available for limited time at participating restaurants.
Don't miss the Paul Feinbaum Show, weekday afternoons from 2 until 5 on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. Always topical, always entertaining. Paul Feinbaum on ESPN Cleveland 101.3, presented by Hardee's.
Cleveland Tire Center having a huge sale on Goodyear tires. Buy 3 Goodyears, get 1 free. Don't forget the Cleveland Tire Center service department for alignments, oil changes, and more. Cleveland Tire Center, 4699 North Lee Highway, where the name says it all. Goodyear, more driven.
Hey y'all, this is Alfonso, General Manager over at Crown Cleveland. Please visit us online to see our entire used car inventory, all different makes and models, all different budget levels. Please give us an opportunity. Google Crown Cleveland.
For decades, Best Buy Metals has been shaping more than metal. We've been building strength, one roof, one wall, one community at a time. This isn't just roofing and siding, it's steel formed with purpose, made to withstand difficult storms, because what we make doesn't just cover buildings, it protects what matters most. Get inspired today by visiting bestbymetalroof.com. Best Buy Metals, designed to inspire, made to protect, driven to serve.
Need cash? Check. Behind on bills? Check. Unexpected car repair, broken appliance, surprise vet bill. Check, check, and check. Time to check into Cash, your one-stop money shop. Check all the boxes, all in one place. From payday loans to flex lines of credit, we've got solutions that move with you. The process is simple, quick, and designed to get you the help you need fast. If you've been approved, you can leave with cash in hand. Check Into Cash also offers check cashing, money orders, and wire transfers, all in one place. Check your worries at the door and check into a store to apply. We have stores in the Chattanooga area, including Cleveland and Athens. Or visit checkintocash.com to get started today. Check Into Cash. We fund today to make a better tomorrow. Subject to state regulations, eligibility, credit check, underwriting, and approval. Rates, restrictions, and fees apply. Visit a store for details.
Welcome back to The Drive, presented by Hardee's. Join the conversation. Text 423-749-1013. You can also listen anywhere on our website, ESPNCleveland1013.com.
Mayfield Dairy Chocolate Milk is a great recovery drink for athletes or anyone who exercises. Rich in calcium and vitamin D, get Mayfield's famous chocolate milk at numerous locations in our area. Find out more at mayfielddairy.com. Before I get to the Hall of Fame thing, I do want to give an update here. The Atlanta Braves will be going for a sweep of the Toronto Blue Jays tonight. In Atlanta, Chris Sale on the mound for the Bravos as they continue to just knock the cover off the ball, and their pitching is doing fantastic. This is such a solid club in Atlanta. And if they stay healthy, Philip, I really believe the Braves have a true opportunity to compete with the Dodgers for the National League flag.
I agree. It's crazy what they did in a complete reverse from where they were like.
Yeah, they were under 500 all last year.
Right. This complete reverse. Players staying healthy this year, and it's been incredible to follow.
Yeah, it is amazing what they've been able to do. They've won every series except for 2 the entire year. It's incredible. They're on pace right now to win like 110, 111 games. Unbelievable how they're just every time they have a series, they win 2 out of 3 or they sweep them. Yeah. It's incredible.
Most wins in the National League, most wins in MLB right now. So they're connecting on just about any front you can ask for.
Right. Okay. So I'm a member of the Football Writers Association of America. I'm a member of the. I actually get to vote for the College Football Hall of Fame,
which is pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. I've been doing this for how many years have I been a member of the Football Writers? And the National Football Foundation allows us to vote along with others that they deem are, I guess, vote worthy. But anyway, so we got the Hall of Fame ballot, and it's very deep. Lots of players.
I'm scrolling through the names here. Just keep on going and going.
Lots of great college football players. By the way, to be on the College Football Hall of Fame ballot, you must have been a first-team All-American at some point in your career. If you never are a first-team All-American, you can't be on the ballot. And for coaches, you have to have won 60% of your games. Until a couple years ago, they changed the rules. And why did they change the rule? Because Mike Leach, he lost his last game as head coach. A little did we know he was going to pass away. Mm-hmm. And he never did get the coach in the bowl that year. He lost his last game, and that last loss dropped his winning percentage from over 60% to 59.6%, a .596 winning percentage, which made him ineligible to be on the Hall of Fame ballot. So what happened? You had a lot of people saying, "Oh, he needs to be in. And I was like, listen, a rule's a rule. It's been like this for 70 years. They changed the rule. They changed the rule from winning 60% of your game to winning 59.5% of your games,
right,
which allows Mike Leach with a winning percentage of .596 to be eligible. Mike Leach is on the ballot. And I usually don't share what I'm going to do, but I usually don't share who I voted for. But I'm going to share this. I'm not going to vote for Mike Leach for making the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
I think and maybe because my criteria for Hall of Fame, and I mean this for baseball, football, basketball, you name it, my criteria is probably higher than most people's. To me, you have to be, if you ask me, is he all right, like we talked about this today, I talked with Steve Hartline. Russell Wilson, is he a Hall of Famer? I said no. You know why? Because I had to think about it. I'd think about it. I'm like, no, if I have to think about it, that means he's not. No, he can't. In my book, he may get in. He probably will get in. Mike Leach probably will get voted in. But if I have to second thoughts about it, then to me, that tells me all I need to know. To me, I never had the thought that I was watching a Hall of Fame coach on the sidelines when Mike Leach was coaching football all these years. I thought he was a good coach, a really good coach. But to me, a Hall of Fame coach is a great coach. And I have a definition of great. You can't be really good. You have to be great. And that's the reason. And I know this is very unpopular, and most people listening are disagreeing with me because Mike Leach was a great guy. I don't question that. He was funny, great interviews. He had a personality that was just beyond great. Okay, he had a great personality, but he wasn't a great football coach. He had a lot of innovative things, offensively, tremendously innovative. Now, the fact that he didn't get to coach at any of the powerhouse teams, we'll never know. Had he been a head coach at Oklahoma or Texas or USC or Tennessee or Ohio State or Georgia, maybe then my mindset would have been different because he'd have been doing it with much better student athletes. But I only have who he had and what he did with it. And to me, I just never thought of him as a Hall of Famer.
I'm not going to disagree with you, but I'm also not going to agree with you at the same time. Mark, I've got a question. Since you're on the committee, can a player or a coach be on there multiple years? Or
yes.
Okay.
Oh, he'll be on it again. Yes, absolutely.
So, for me, I'm more lenient of yes.
A first ballot.
Should he be a first ballot, or should, Russell Wilson, could he get in there eventually? And the question is, probably could.
Yeah.
For Russell Wilson and for Coach Leach. For me, it's the first ballot, it should be a lot higher standard, like you said.
And that's probably my flaw. That's probably a flaw in me. The guys that have been on there multiple times, hey, at some point, listen, yeah, they'll probably get again, and I'd like to see them get in before they pass away,
Right. Excuse me, right. So I agree with you that Leach probably and Russell Wilson should not be
first
ballot, but you give them a couple years and let's see who else comes up, and if their numbers are still whole, because 596 for Coach Leach is still really good, considering he coached in the Pac-12, the Big 12, and the SEC.
Yeah. I guess what bothers me is the rule was changed for him specifically, and I'm like,
I think
really?
there's some.
I'm like, that's not what we do. It's kind of like if you're not an All-American, you can't be on a Hall of Fame ballot. Are they going to make exceptions for this? Well, this guy he was really good. He should have been a first-team All-American, but he wasn't.
Right. Well, I think there's a little sentimental aspect with Mike Leach just because he was a character.
And he died unexpected.
And he died unexpected. If he hadn't won that last game, there would be no question.
You're right. Yeah.
Or if he had been able to coach another couple of years.
Here's the thing. If Mike Leach had won, say 61% of the games, I still don't know if he's a Hall of Famer.
Sure.
For me.
Right,
this is for Jim Gum, the Hall of Fame voter, who I take a lot of pride in the guys I put. There's only so many that you can click, okay? I don't click them all, man. I have a lot of no's.
And that's a good thing. You shouldn't. A voter shouldn't just be like, yes.
You're right. And that's how I feel. And I'm probably a little bit more critical when it comes to Hall of Fame material and Hall of Fame worthy than a lot of people. And I feel the same way about players and coaches. So that is, I know it's a controversial thing, but it is what it is.
Well, then also you can also say if Mike Leach had never coached at Mississippi State, where he was successful but not near what he had at Texas Tech or Washington State, if he had never coached in the SEC, would we consider him a little different?
Maybe a little bit more.
But you can't.
Maybe a little bit more.
You can't go back and change things, but.
Philip, thanks so much for coming in. Hey, you're going to be here tomorrow too, right?
I'll be back.
So, hey, hope everyone out there has a good rest of your Thursday. You've been listening to The Drive here on ESPN Cleveland 101.3.
Your new home for 24-hour sports coverage. ESPN Cleveland 101.3. It's time for a Don Ledford